I was hearing some feedback from family about, the accusations being made against me. I feel like I've been gaslit by some of the family members. I know what I wanted. I wanted this family. I was bending over backwards to encourage Kody's relationships with his wives and Kody's relationship with his kids. I had too high of expectations. I wanted too much for my sister wives.
Hi, friends. It's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Yesterday, we talked about how Kody and Robyn did something during this Coyote Pass division that made it so that they had 50% on two parcels and had more of a vote and more authority, and that in the event that Kody dies, Robyn would have more control than Janelle and Mary. But in my comments, someone brought up a question and they said, is it true that Robyn delayed the close and delayed the filing of these documents by not signing until March? And I hadn't noticed this. So for those of you that did notice this, and to the commenter that brought this up, thank you, because you are correct. So I don't know what this means. Could it mean that Robyn was dragging her feet, unwilling to accept that this family was moving on, unwilling to accept the fate that Coyote Pass was going to be eventually sold, unwilling to accept the loss of the funding? Because if you remember, Robyn Brown, during the time that they're trying to settle the dispute about Coyote Pass, Robyn was spending, $40,000, $50,000 on doll clothes and dolls on Etsy in the span of a couple months. And her spending was out of control during that period. Maybe she was on her final binge before this happened, and is it also possible that there is a serious problem in the marriage of Kody and Robyn, because Kody and Robyn's dates of signing these documents are different? They're at different times. They are months apart, and generally husbands and wives sign documents at the same time. Is their marriage fracturing under the pressure of losing the money that Robyn was so desperate to have? Is Robyn on the verge of leaving? These are some of the thoughts that I have. It appears that there was an agreement that was made on September 5th of 2024, and it was between Kody, Janelle, and Mary. September 5th was the date of this document where they did a courtesy recording instruction. They were going to record documents that were not insured by Pioneer Title Agency. So for whatever reason, they waived title insurance, which isn't a lot of money, quite honestly. It's odd that they would choose not to have title insurance. Title insurance is just a simple thing that you do that helps cover the risk if there are any title issues that arise, if liens get placed, if fraud is discovered, it covers the liability. And they decided to file this without title insurance. I guess that's more par for the course for Kody not wanting to have insurance for anything. But something else that was interesting is that this agreement happens on September 5th, right? And Janelle signed off on the transfer of the deed on January 13th. Kody signed off on the transfer of the deed on the 17th of January on one of the properties. And that property was ready to be filed, but it didn't get filed until on the separate property. Again, Kody signed by a notary on January 17th. They crossed out Robyn's name on the document, so she didn't get hers notarized. She didn't notarize the agreement for the transfer of the title until March 26th. So she didn't agree to allow Janelle and Mary onto her parcel with Kody until 2 months after Kody signed. One would think that if Kody and his wife are coming to an agreement with Janelle and Mary, that they would agree to sign on the same date. There's really zero reason why Robyn would wait 2 months after her husband. In fact, she used the same notary, right? She used the same person, but she signed it 2 months after Kody. And they actually had to, because the property was originally in Robyn's name and Kody's name, they had to cross her name out. And then Robyn had to go there separately to have it notarized. Mind you, they all signed it again on they made this agreement on September 5th. And then the other property, which included Kody, Janelle, and Mary, adding Robyn onto the property, Kody signed it again by himself on the 17th. Janelle signed it on the 9th. Mary signed it on the 15th of January. And again, Robyn signed it on the 26th of March. Robyn signed 2 months after everyone else agreed. So, who's really the one that's controlling the money? Who's the one that's having a hissy fit about the finances? Who's the one that's making it more difficult for the other women to move on? Kody or Robyn? It would appear that Kody was doing something to at least try to get this done. And I'm not on Kody's side, by the way, at all. But my belief this entire time about Coyote Pass, my belief about about Robyn being unwilling to let Janelle and Mary go, being unwilling to walk away from polygamy, is that Robyn did not want to give up on the lifestyle that Kody had afforded her. I'll tell you something just from my perspective. My husband and I, when we have legal documents that we need to sign, and if we're at a closing, we're there together. So if we are going to, when we started our house and we closed on our loan for the loan to build the house, the building loan, construction loan, we were at the closing together. When we've had to refinance or do whatever, we're at the closing together. Anytime there's a title document, we're there together. So really what that tells me is that Kody was going to these closings or going to the title company, right? Because he's going to the title company to sign with the expectation that it would get filed within a couple days. So if you're Janelle and Mary and you just want to be able to put the property on the market, you want to be able to move on, and you have to wait another couple months, and now it's April and you're going to put the property, I don't know when it'll be put on the market. She's just literally made you wait 2 more months. Robyn doesn't want to let go of the money. That's my opinion. It's also my opinion that there's something seriously wrong in Kody and Robyn's relationship, because usually if a husband and wife are going to make a property decision, they would do it together. And if she had to drag her feet for 2 months, there's probably serious issues happening between them right now. Robyn and Kody have been seen together. They were at like a butterfly event in Phoenix. They've been out and about together doing things. So like suggestion that Kody and Robyn are separated. They're not. So in this case, Cody's willing to do what he needs to do to move on, as obviously uncomfortable as it is, and as much concessions as he has to make, which then tells me, is it Robyn that in order to do this is forcing them to do the deed where it's, community rights of survivorship? Because the community rights of survivorship wasn't signed by Robyn until March. Kody signed it in January. Why are a husband and wife signing documents on different dates? Is there problems in their marriage? Is Robyn intentionally holding things up? Does Robyn not want to let go of her assets? Maybe all of the above? Robyn believed, as far as I've been told for the longest time, that the money that everyone made was hers. Robyn believed that because she was Kody's wife, she had a say. She wasn't about, no matter what McKelty says, no matter what they lie about to the public and keep saying that Robyn is the sweetest woman and she just wants everyone to get along. That's a lie. It doesn't match reality. And Robyn wants the money. That's what she's been after this whole time. There are times when I think Kody is the big driving force behind this, but I also know and feel that Robyn and Kody are like two narcs that probably have completely different opinions about what it is that they want. And my assumption here is that, and I assumed that this was what was ultimately going to happen, because why would Kody and Robyn willfully steal publicly from them, right? If they were not going to hand over Coyote Pass, they would have potentially faced fraud charges. They could have, Janelle and Mary could have gone to police. They could have gone to the FBI. They could have done a lot of things, right? So Kody had a lot on his hands in terms of he wants to be free, and if he doesn't want to look like a total jerk and he doesn't want to appear like the typical polygamous man, he's going to have to come to an agreement. But then it's Robyn who's the one that makes it last longer. It's Robyn's the one that wants Kody to keep reuniting with the women. It's Robyn the one that's demanding Kody go sleep on the couch at Christine's house. It's Robyn the one that's like 2 years later telling Kody to go back to Janelle. Things can work out with Mary. If Robyn loses her identity of being like the like the epitome of a successful polygamous family, she is a failure in her eyes, right? There was an episode when they were trying to build the one house, and she said that building the one house on Coyote Pass would be a symbol to all the others out there, because there's this stigma that polygamous families are poor, the women are mistreated and abused, and it's a lot of poverty. And that's where she came from. And so this would be a symbol to the world that no, we're not. We're like kings and queens. We've made it. She once said that she believed at the age 35 that she had reached the pinnacle of success because she had a best-selling book. She was a successful polygamous family, disproving society. She did all the things. Everyone believed that they were the most functional family out there. And by Robyn having to sign off on this, not only does she have to let go of her money, but she also has to realize and finally accept that she's a failure. And listen, why do you care about being a failure? You don't have to share your husband anymore. You don't have to worry about getting an STD from your husband. You don't have to worry about getting herpes passed around or whatever, HPV. You don't have to worry about the germs and the discrepancies in money anymore. Like, you don't have to deal with it. Like, your money and Kody's money is your money and Kody's money. You don't have to deal with him putting his junk in other people's places. You don't have to worry about if he's not at the house. There's no one to compete with anymore. McKelty and Tony believe that Robyn still believes, and I don't know if that's true. I honestly don't know if that's true. But Robyn is a huge driving factor behind the reasons why there was such a division in the family. Robyn's obsession with money and her financially stressing the family out with her spending was a huge factor for many of the women leaving, and a factor for the way that Kody didn't give money to everyone else but gave it all to Robyn. Because Kody, like he said on a podcast, there are some women that just will be with you because they want to be with the other woman's husband, and they want to make themselves better off financially. They want to move up socially. And that basically calling Robyn like a gold digger. So if you have a gold digger wife, you have to feed the addiction and give the promises to what that gold digger wants, money. So he was willing to sacrifice everything, everything for her. And then when he's finally trying to make good on the other women through the threat of legal action, Robyn drags their feet. And this probably is why Mary's over there, like, talking about why she's being silenced. And she's probably talking about why she's going through all this pain and hurt. Because if this finally closes on the 27th, Mary can finally move on. Janelle can finally move on, because finally they have the things that they need to sell the property. And then when the property can finally sell, then these women can finally move on. But Robyn was like holding them hostage, and that's wrong. So thank you to the individual that pointed this out to me. It makes me really sad for anyone that is involved in polygamy, that the life that they live is so controlled by other people's misdeeds, that women who have no legal rights, they're not the wives, the legal wives, have to be at the beck and call and at the mercy of the legal wife to do what they need to do in order to move forward. Cody's filings Cody couldn't do this without Robyn. Cody couldn't give Mary and Janelle what they needed without Robyn consenting. And if it took Robyn from September until March to finally agree to consent, can you imagine the fights that he has to go through with her in order to like do anything? Cody deserves Robyn because he's a jerk, just like Christine said. And Robyn shouldn't have done this to Mary and Janelle. And Mary and Janelle are freaking saints for having to deal with this for such a long time. I just hope, above all else, they put the property on the market, that Janelle and Mary can finally sell it and get rid of these people, and that eventually the show is terminated. As much as some of you say, why would you want the show to be canceled? I'll find other things to talk about on this channel. I just want everyone to be able to recover from their trauma and to get away from Cody and Robyn. But that's just my opinion. What are your thoughts about this development? Tell me in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed. And you guys, we're getting super close to 420,000 subscribers. I did notice that when I'm looking at my videos, a lot of you that are watching these are not subscribed. So it would be awesome to see you click the bell and click the subscribe button, which is free. All right, you guys, sound off below with your comments. I love to hear all of the things. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.